Good night, everyone. Hello, good evening. Thanks everyone for being here. It's such an awesome event, and it's great to see so many people here and having fun and having conversations. I love this. Thank you so much. Um, I'm Edgar. This is Anna. We're both from Reddit, and we're gonna be. Thank you. We're going to be talking a little bit about how you can build and grow your game on Reddit itself. It's not super well known, but as we've seen today in our booth. But yes, you can build your own games that run on Reddit. I'm going to start by saying what is Devvit. Devvit is our very well-named platform for development at Reddit. So it's our brand new developer platform. Here on the right side, you can see some examples of some games that are already running on Reddit, Build It, which is kind of like a Mario Maker. Dark Dungeon, a dungeon exploration game, Hatch Cats, Cats Hatching game. Thank you so much. We have some of the authors of the games here in the audience tonight. Pixelary and so many others. What is it exactly that you can build? Devvit allows you to build lots of different things. You can build, if you're a moderator of a Reddit community, you can build mod tools and bots to help moderate and keep your community safer and more engaging. You can also build interactive posts that are these are posts that you can interact with in the feed itself. And you can also build full screen HTML5 experiences, and that's actually full screen. Like the games that I was showing before, if you activate them on the Reddit feed, you can play them fully interactive HTML5 games. Some of the tools that we provide free hosting, so you don't have to care about your expenses when hosting or expanding the reach of your game. It's cross-platform. You build your game once, it's going to run on iOS, Android, and web. And we have in-app purchases support are built out of the box, also compatible with web, Android, and iOS. Now, we know what Devvit is and what games on Reddit are, but I guess the question is, why would you build on Reddit? And for this, I'm going to pass the mic over to Anna.
Hello. So Edgar's going to do a demo at the end of this to show what games on Reddit actually are. This is kind of tough. Okay. But I want to touch on a few things about how games on Reddit kind of operate in the Reddit ecosystem. So just one quick note on our big user base. The same reason that a lot of advertisers like Reddit is one of the reasons why our developers really like Reddit, which is that users kind of coalesce around their interests and game titles and really niche types of games. And so it creates a really easy way for them to tap into existing user bases. The other thing is that games built on Reddit are usually built around their own subreddit, which is a community. And with typical games, you'll see folks kind of organically create communities on Reddit or on Discord, and kind of be in dialogue with the game creator and have this kind of exterior relationship. But on Reddit, the community is part of where the game is played and how the game is built. So, this GIF here is from one of what I would consider the first games on Reddit, or one of the most popular first games on Reddit, which was r/place. It brought millions and millions of users together to interact on this collaborative canvas. There's some really amazing time lapses. You can look at this game. It lasted a couple days. But the lore and the community and the factions that split off from r/place lived in that community. They were on the canvas, but they were also, the discussion was also right there. So when you're building your games on Reddit, you can have that kind of similar, really intimate experience with your players. So another thing about building games on Reddit is discoverability. So typically when you're building a game, you have some form of distribution channel. On Reddit, that would be the feed. So when you're scrolling on Reddit, you'll typically find new content that aligns with stuff you've interacted with, or with that's related to communities you are a part of, or related to communities that are similar to what you're part of. And so this provides a really wonderful organic channel for developers to let their games get kind of fed via the feed to players that will be excited about them. Okay, money. So we do currently have a program for developers. If you are working with us, and your game starts to scale, even from a very small number, all the way up to millions of users, you incrementally and cumulatively start getting payouts from the Developer Funds Program. This is so that we can kind of help bolster and kind of provide our own incubator for games on Reddit, and developers that are looking for something more sustainable as they try out a new platform, because we are kind of a newer platform. So we're really excited to work with folks directly, and if you want to build a game on Reddit, we would love to work really closely with you, figure out how to market your game best, help you with your creative, really everything. Sometimes, we're hopping in your code base and trying to help out really wherever possible. So we definitely want to partner with you. And yeah, come find us on r/Devvit or developers.reddit.com, or just talk to us after this. My throat is all scratchy from the loud music. I'll pass it over to Edgar now for the demo.
Thank you, Anna. So you can develop for free. We host the game for free, and there's a chance to win more than 100K, depending on how successful your game is, on top of in-app purchases and payments. I think there's a great opportunity to get your creativity out there with Devvit. So I wanted to do some live demos because we have some time, and because my background is as an engineer. So before I get into the live demos, I just want to show one example of one game that I think really encompasses what it means to build a community game around Devvit, around Reddit. So Build It, you can already play it today on r/buildit. It's a platformer game where each community member can create their own levels. So you can also compete for the quickest game on quickest time on each of the levels. So as you can see, it's a full featured HTML5 view over here. And this is the play mode, but if I wanted, I could get out of here and go into the build mode, create my own level, and then propose it to other players as well. If I would create that level, it would create another post, and then people can compete for time on that post. But yeah, okay. We know that there's games out there. There's a great opportunity. How do you build it? We need good internet connection for me to do a live demo, so I'm going to overpromise and underdeliver a little bit. Instead of actually doing a live demo, I'm going to show a pre-recording of me doing this earlier today, just because I don't trust that the Wi-Fi here is going to collaborate with me. So here's how you do starting a Devvit app from scratch. You download our CLI, which is called Devvit. The first command you would run is Devvit new. You give a name to your project, and there's some templates that you can start. In this case, I started with the web view post, which allows me to create a project that can run a web view application. So then I'm going to open that into VS Code. Here we have the different, let me pause here quickly. The different folders here are the source folder is going to have everything that's very native to Reddit's integration. And the web root folder is going to have your HTML5 games logic. So it creates all of that code for you. Whoops. It creates all of that code for you. I'm creating it so that my command is called create new GDC post. It creates all of the hooks for you. And let me advance a little bit here. You do some authentication. After that, the next command is Devvit playtest. And for that, in my case, I had already created a subreddit to test my game. So I did Devvit playtest, and I provided the name for my subreddit. And that creates a live connection between terminal, where my application is running, and the local run of my application, and the subreddit that's running my code. So with that command, there is now a deeply integrated action item, menu item into my subreddit, which is create a new GDC post. That allows me to create a new post that is special and has the interactive application that I created. In this case here, the Devvit part of the application renders this post, but then when I launch the app, it launches a web view. Now, granted, I will grant it for you, the web view is super boring. It's just a counter, it counts up and down and does nothing much else. But it is a full-featured web view. You can run your game, you can write your game with Phaser, with GameMaker, with any other engine and run it here. So I wanted to give another example before I say goodbye and go to the Q&A, which is because it's a full-featured web view, this means that you can leverage all of the other tools that are there for web development, including AI coding. So this morning before breakfast, I actually run Cursor with Claude 3.5, and I was able to make a pretty convincing clone of New York Times connections that's well integrated into the Devvit application. So as you can see here, let me see. It has a native dialogue for me to create my categories. And by the way, it is a clone of New York Times connections. If there's anybody from the New York Times here, I'm not going to publish this game. Please don't sue. It's for demonstration purposes only. But if there's anyone from the New York Times here and you want to collaborate to publish this game, please let me know. So deeply integrated into Reddit. As you can see, this is a native Reddit dialogue for me to create my categories. This will be triggered in the post-creation process. So after creating my categories, I can say create game. That creates a new post for me that has my connections categories. It also has some stats about me as a player. And in there I can play. All of this I was able to do with some AI coding magic. I did it before breakfast today, and then I just did some adjustments throughout the day. But because it's a full-featured web view, you can leverage any tool that you're already familiar with, any engine and any AI coding tool, anything that you're already familiar with. That's it for demos. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much. Questions? No questions. One question. Does Reddit sponsor projects that are what, sorry? Should I go back to this one?
Yeah, but
I don't think I understood the question fully. Do you want yeah.
So if you build an app around that art, then I think the developer funds is probably the easiest way to do that. Reddit generally does have a program called community funds, which is not related to Dev Platform, but is a way that communities can put together projects, and a lot of them are, they're artistic or they're for social good. So that would definitely be something to look at if you're not thinking about it in the context of an app.
The question is, are we looking to replicate the success of our place with Dev Platform? And is the idea that anyone can build their our place? Our place is quite gigantic, but there is nothing preventing you from creating such an experience on Devvit. We actually have a game that's somewhat similar in terms of like pixel drawing, which is called Pixelary. In this game, you can draw drawings based on pixels, and people have to guess the drawings. We actually have this control for, it's a reusable asset for drawing with pixels. You can find it on our website, and it's open source, and you can use it on your project. We do have real-time capabilities, storage capabilities. All of this, if you can leverage it in a way that allows to use our systems at scale, you can create an experience very similar to our place without any infrastructure costs to you.
I'll also add that we would love to see more things like Our Place. It's just such a beautiful way for everyone on Reddit to come together. We have like a saying at Reddit that the users are always more creative than we are. So this is kind of our way of being like, someone's going to create something as cool and interesting as Our Place. Maybe it's not Our Place, but this is the tool set for them to do that.
Yeah. Okay, we have one more question. So if you have already a game built in other engines like Unity or GameMaker, as long as it can exporting to HTML5. There is a special folder created within the tool called WebRoot, and it will run everything that's in the HTML5. Let me see if I can find it here. Well, kind of hard to find now. But it's a specific folder in the project, and anything that runs in there as an HTML sandbox HTML5 application is what's going to open in the dialog on desktop or a full screen application on mobile. Yes, exactly. There is another runtime environment that we call the Devvit environment, which allows you to create stuff like what I've shown before, like native menus, menu actions, native posts that are going to be working around your web view to make the communication with the Reddit platform deeper integration. Yes, there's many different templates on r/Devvit. We're always sharing new templates there. Recently, 2 weeks ago, I shared a template that helps to abstract away the HTML5 logic from the other runtime environment so that you can communicate both of them just through passing messages and getting messages back and forth. So it allows you to focus more on the HTML5 part of the application. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Come talk to us if you have any questions.